Hey, welcome back. Today, we're going to dig into the complexities of the Medicaid Look Back Period. We're going to try to break it down in a way that actually makes sense. I'm a consultant that guides families through the Medicaid long-term care application process. I'm not an attorney. Grab a pen and take some notes. One of the questions that is asked during the financial interview when going through the Medicaid application process is if the applicant has transferred any assets. The state wants to know if any assets of value were sold or given away. That's what transferred means. If you sold a house, you transfer the house away from you to another person. The state wants to know, well, how much was it sold for? When was it sold? Where did the money go? For example, what bank account did the funds get deposited into? This period of time that they're asking about is called the Medicaid Look Back Period. When you're trying to qualify for Medicaid, the timing of your asset transfers can be everything. During this time, they're checking to see if you've transferred any assets for less than fair market value, which can affect your eligibility for benefits. Fair market value is the price that an asset would sell in the open market between a willing buyer and a willing seller. It's essentially the highest price the property or the car would sell under normal market conditions. It's not like selling to your grandkid. If the state finds any transfers that did not meet the fair market value threshold, you could be subject to a penalty period, which can be days, it could be months, it could be years, depending upon the value of the assets that were transferred improperly. This can be devastating, especially if you're in a situation where you need long-term care right away. How long is the look-back period? It's usually 60 months or 5 years, which means that Medicaid will review any asset transfer you've made during the 60 months before you submitted the application. Verify your state's specific rules. Let me share with you a real-life scenario that illustrates just how critical it is to understand the look-back period. I worked with a family who had to move their loved one into memory care. Their mother had sold her home 2 years prior and gave some of the proceeds of the home sale to her children. She moved into assisted living facility for a few years, but then she couldn't live there anymore. Unfortunately, she didn't understand the look-back period, and as a result, she was hit with a substantial penalty period, leaving her with a huge bill for her care. The penalty period, it's a number of days that Medicaid will not pay for your care, even though you qualify, because that asset was transferred improperly. The number of days Medicaid will not pay is directly related to the value of the asset that was transferred. For example, if you gave $10,000 to your child to get their car fixed, that $10,000 would be divided by the average daily cost of care in your state. This is not the same in every state, but in my state, in April of 2025, the average cost of care is $422 per day. This example, a $10,000 transfer would be divided by 422. That's about 23.69 days. That is the maximum possible penalty that could be assigned. So the caseworker who's assigned to review the financial side of eligibility would see that this asset was transferred, and they would send all the information to the penalty board. The penalty board would look at all the information about the case. They would determine if there's going to be a penalty and how many days the penalty will be. The consequences of not understanding the look-back period can be severe. You can end up paying thousands of dollars out of pocket for care. You can be stuck in a situation where you're not eligible for benefits at all. So what can you do to avoid these costly mistakes? The key is to plan ahead and to understand the look back period. I'm sure you're freaking out if you have already improperly transferred an asset and you don't know how to fix it, or maybe you can't fix it. I want you to ask yourself, was the asset transferred during a time that the applicant needed long-term care? For example, if the asset was a home and the home was sold 3 years before the application was submitted, the applicant was healthy at the time, they were not experiencing dementia, then ask yourself, well, how can I prove that the applicant did not need long-term care? Can their physician or maybe their attorney write a letter stating that they didn't need care, that they weren't experiencing dementia during that time? What other professional could validate that care was not needed at the time of the transfer? This could be very valuable in avoiding a penalty. So if the asset was transferred during a time when the applicant did need long-term care, ask yourself, can I get it back? If you can, try and get it back. If you have questions about your particular situation, feel free to leave a comment. Call a knowledgeable elder law attorney or try to call your local Medicaid office. Try. Thanks for tuning in on this video and on the Medicaid Look Back Period, and tell me about your experience. Do you have an experience with the Look Back Period? Well, share with the comments below and share this with your friends, maybe who parents are going through this. If you're interested in learning more about Medicaid planning and long-term care, subscribe to this channel. We have a video called Can You Really Transfer or Give Away Assets? It's full of really important concepts to understand when going through this process. If it's necessary, watch twice and take notes. Remember, I am a guide. Your situation might need an elder law attorney, and not all elder law attorneys understand Medicaid law. That could cost you thousands, so do your homework. So what you're going through is incredibly difficult. You're headed in the right direction. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.